Okay, so if you are back here, you wanted to know a little bit more about how you can utilize like your free resources to create a content calendar, right? So, what I've been playing with are a million different things. I used to lean on AppFee. AppFee crashed. AppFee took my money, but it's okay. It's a learning lesson. So, after AppFee went down, I didn't really know what to do because I leaned so heavily on it. I would plan everything out in it. It had all my hashtags saved. Like it had a drag and drop feature where I could do. I don't even want to talk about them no more because they took my money. Anyway, but what I learned after struggling in the weeks afterwards, like, I gotta plan this some way. I just had to get a calendar. And quite frankly, I just hopped on Canva, typed in social media calendar, and calendars just started appearing. I mean, they actually had like a bunch of teacher calendars, but I mean, that's who uses Canva, teachers and social media people. Anywho, so it's a lot easier to organize your thoughts when you're actually looking at a calendar. So, for instance, this month I was looking at dumping certain things. Like I talked about dumping Linktree. Now we're talking about dumping like those planning apps or whatever. And I think I'm going to go into just various things that you can actually utilize on your own that have their own apps that we just kind of lean on. And it's very important to be able to know how to do these things manually, because if something crashes, hint, hint, AppFee. If your favorite platform crashes, what are you going to do? Don't do what I did. I froze. Now, what you want to do is once you've downloaded them, you can start brainstorming what your content is. And the easiest way to do this and start making it drag and drop is just think about a month. Think about one topic, one big topic for a month. One topic that you can break down 4 ways. See where I'm going with this? So if you break it down 4 ways, you have 4 weeks of content, right? So once you have 4 weeks of content, you can kind of focus on that 1 week subtopic of each one. Now it's starting to become drag and drop. Now, in that week, you can start putting in different aspects of whatever you're talking about. So let's say, for instance, this week I am talking about creating your own content in Canva. Well, no, let's back up. Let's say for the month of October, I'm talking about simplifying your social media strategy. Sometimes they just come to me while I'm trying to do this. So, girlfriend gave me this. Things I'll forget if I don't write them down. Anyway. So this month, I'm going to be talking about simplifying. Judge your mama. I need to write it down. Your social media strategy. Right? So you can break that down 4 ways. So week 1 was dumping Linktree, right? So throughout that week, you don't have to exclusively be talking about dumping Linktree that whole week, but you can talk about, adding links to your bio, and I can talk about how you keep people from going off into the everything sphere of your website by having too many links, and then the pros and cons of using what you already have. You see what I'm saying? Break it down into 5 days, and then make sure it's somewhere in those 5 days. And I'm real good for like not doing this, but I know you should post something about yourself, something about you, something, the face. They need the face behind the business. Don't get so blocky that you lose yourself, right? So that's week 1, being Linktree. Week 2 could be this, planning your social media for the month. So actually, now that I look at it, this actually should be video 1, and it's my business. So it is video 1. So disregard all that other stuff I said about Linktree. That's a video that's going to be after this, because clearly I'm planning this as I go, and I'm about to use all this content because this face is beat and y'all are going to get it today. So week 1 is going to be planning your social media for the month, right? Then week 2 is going to be dumping Linktree, right? Now we need to go into week 3. What should I talk about as far as week 3? What should you post each day? So you don't have to necessarily post the same thing every day, because people feel like, well, I gotta post about Linktree every day, or I gotta post about how to do Canva things every day. Take an aspect of it. You can break it down and then break it down that much more, and then don't forget to put yourself into it. So my week 3 would be breaking down the weeks, right? And then one more week in simplifying your social media strategy is scheduling, right? Schedule that shit. I'm fancy, I like nice things, but I cuss. Schedule that shit. So that would actually be week 4 to actually schedule everything. You see what I've done here? So you have your big topic, and mine is going to be simplifying your social media strategy. That's what we're talking about in October. Week 1, we're going to be talking about planning your social media strategy with Canva, Google, Linktree. You can use other stuff, but I'm thinking free, because a lot of times people are starting out and they already have a crap ton of startup costs. So, I mean, why not utilize the free resources until it's time to scale? Because it's going to be time to scale at one point, and then you're going to have to put out the coins. But until then, let's do this. Then week 2 is going to be dumping Linktree. Everybody's Instagram should have a link in bio, and a lot of times people will use Linktree. I don't want to use it. I'm using that as a topic. Week 3 would be breaking down the weeks. Like, what are we going to talk about each day? Are we going to be informative one day? Are we going to be, sharing a little bit of ourselves one day? Are we breaking down a certain part one day? That is where we're going to break down the different, what are we going to talk about each day, and then how frequent and all that fun stuff. And then week 4 is schedule that shit. So that is where I will show you, or, theoretically, but I'm probably actually going to use this because this is actually good stuff that people could actually use. Anywho, week 4 would be scheduling. So whether you use a Hootsuite or whether you decide to just set a timer and batch out all your posts or whatever the case may be, that's what you're going to do. In order for you to make sure that you put all of this in place, you have to start creating the graphics. You already have your big monthly topic. You have your small weekly topics. And now it's time to create. So you create your graphics. You can even add your posts. I suggest 1 to 5 hashtag banks so that you're using different ones. Or you can use a core set of maybe like 10 to 15, and then under each post you're adding another 5 to 10 to personalize it as you go. So what you can do, if you don't want to use like Hootsuite, you want to go the free route, you can just save all your images and you can set yourself a timer for each one. That's what I did when I first started out. Honestly, I had 2 accounts that I was managing in addition to my own. And I did not really have the funds because I wasn't charging what I needed to charge, but that's neither here nor there. But I didn't really have the funds to pay for what I needed to pay for. So I did what I needed to do. I went ahead and did all the posts. I set a timer. So when that timer went off, I had the caption set up in my notes, copy. I had the image already like ready to go, sent the image off, and the end. A scheduler is way more convenient because as you get busy, I don't have time to like stop what I'm doing all the time and then just post. I don't have time for that. Scheduler is a lot easier. A scheduler will also give you like peak times, but we're going to get there. if you're going to use Google Calendars or a calendar like so behind me, it will keep you on track as far as trying to make sure that you are staying on topic, on trend, on task for everything. The next thing that you want to do is make sure that you are freeing up space on your phone. If you're like me, you don't feel like always deleting everything all the time. So once you've batched it out, like once you've gone through your week of your content and your posts, you can upload it to the cloud, delete it. It just starts to get clogged when you're trying to do all of that, especially if you're not going through a third party and you're just putting that on there. It's really easy to fill everything up. I keep touching my hair. I'm still getting used to it being red. I love it red. And shouts out to Yaya for doing it. And yes, I went off on a tangent. But what are you going to do about it? Keep watching. Anyway, you want to make sure that you're freeing up space on your phone so that you have space to do these calendars. When it gets to the next month, you start over. New set, new month, new content. And it's not as difficult, it's not as overwhelming. And you've already got that 1 month under your belt, and you know that you can do it, and you know that it's going to be good, and just go with it. But if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you have any, oh my God, help me, I don't know what I'm doing, hit me up. I'm on Instagram at 3 Golden Quills. That's probably how you found me here. I have my own website at 3goldenquills.com. I have a bunch of stuff, inspiration. I'm working on blogs. I write for other people, so I need to take the time to write for myself. But I am glad to be able to help you make this a little bit simpler for you. Now, thanks for stopping by. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Yep, I messed up the word button. Okay. Hit the notification bell. If you want to learn something else next week, it's going to be relevant. I literally just gave you my October, this is what I'm talking about. So if any of those things interest you, whether it's simplifying your social media strategy, that's what I'm talking about this month. If you want to talk about dumping Linktree, that's the next video. I'm going to be talking about that, even though I already recorded that already, but insider stuff, right? And, planning your social media for the month. That's what we're talking about now. Well, we're talking about breaking down the weeks, and then we're talking about scheduling it. So if any of those things are interesting to you, you're in the right place. Welcome to October 2020. The year is not canceled. We still have a lot of work to do. I still have a lot of work to do. You still have a lot of work to do. Let's do it together. So until then, I'm still trying to figure out a good sign off.